Hi guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic Channel. Hope you're having an amazing day. Today I wanted to revisit New York. I made a video a few weeks ago looking at the Star Fort that the Statue of Liberty is on, and also the one on Governor Island. And someone sent me a map showing it's actually New Amsterdam, old New York, with a big Star Fort on it, a Star Citadel. And I also got a tip about having a look at the Empire State Building. So yeah, let's get into this. We're going to have a look at basically the old New York architecture, have a look at the Empire State Building and Old Amsterdam, or New Amsterdam, Old New York, and the Star Fort. Alright, let's get into this. Okay, so here we have, this is one of the mansions on Fifth Avenue, and these we are told they were all built in what's called the Gilded Age. I mean, look at the size of that thing. Massive tower here at the back, and of course in the front, in the ground, we do have a couple of ladies, I think, but yeah, lots of children, and that's it. There's no one else around. It's pretty bare. Got these buildings. I'm not sure, this looks kind of the 30s or something, 20s maybe. But yeah, that is gone. There was a lot of these structures, buildings like this, and they just knocked them all down for progress. Okay. Now this is, we're told, an old picture of New York. And this had said it's from one of the forts, so this is obviously the ocean we're looking across. And you can see, now I'm not sure what year this is, again there's not many people, but we can see tall ships out here. And you can just see like this huge spire in the background, and there's another one here, looks like there's another one there, and it's just built right onto the water again, right onto the shore. Now, like I said, I'm not sure when this is, what year, but it's an interesting photo. This is the memorial to Christopher Columbus, or whoever that was. And again, with this one, there's really no one around. There's a few people that look like they've been put, in the shot. Got this massive, Antiquitech looking obelisk type thing. Now, I'm not sure what these things jutting out the side are, but that's, and it's got a statue on top. But that's pretty cool. And then we have, now I'm not sure, all these poles. I thought they might be, electricity poles, just with this one it's got all the planks coming out, but there don't seem to be any wires connecting them. And these ones seem to have something on the top of them. See that? Let's see if I can see. It's a little bit hard, but yeah, see how there's a ball on the top of that, and that, and that, and that. This is completely different. This seems to be, I'm not sure, a bit different to the other ones, but so what's going on there? This looks very Antiquitech-y. This, it's the, memorial to Christopher Columbus. I'm not sure if it's still standing or not. But yeah, these poles with these bits on it, very, very Antiquitech-y, isn't it? So what was this structure for? And of course you can see there's nothing around it. It's just like dirt, bits of, it's just, there's nothing there. Now this is Navarro Flats. This amazing building is now gone, unfortunately. But have a look at that. It's a definite mud flutter. Whoops, doesn't want to go up, but you can see down here, going into the ground, steps coming up, but just look at this thing. Got the spot. I mean, it's huge. Now, what we're told is that this was built as apartment buildings. An apartment building. It was basically, they built this and they cut it up, and it was only into something like 8 or 9 flats. And the flats didn't sell, so they knocked the building over. So this thing they're saying only stood for about 50 years. I mean, look at that thing. And they knocked it over. Now, of course, there's no people anywhere to be seen, so we don't have much of a reference for the size, but I would say that that looks like a giant-sized building. And just look at, look at these inlays here. They're probably balconies or something. I mean, this was in New York, guys. All over in the 20s, I believe. This is an old shot of New York in the 1800s. Actually, this one actually was marked as 1700s. Now you can see, obviously, there's no cars, there's just horse and carts here. There's a few people in the streets, but look at these buildings. Look at that bit there. It looks like a collection of, what we call Greco-Roman buildings. So if someone said, oh, what are they? Line some buildings up so I know the architecture. That's what you would do. I mean, look at that. Look at the pillars on this thing. And look at this cathedral. I mean, look, these are, you can see the size of the people. So look at the windows. So, these are, 1, 2, 3, sort of 4-story, giant buildings. So they're probably 8 stories. This thing just dwarfs them. And of course, big buildings out here, but that's just ridiculous. And they're trying to say that this was built by the, people the colonizers. I think New York was colonized in the 1600s. Small population took a while to get going, and suddenly they had this. And this is Wall Street in the 20s, 30s. And again, look at these buildings. I mean, look at this thing with a big, triangle spire on it. Lots of people. I'm not sure what's happening here. They're all sort of, a lot of people just there. But, and you can see the archways on this building. Look at this architecture. So this is what used to be in New York. This is an old shot. But as you can see, it looks like, everything's been covered in mud. Look at this tower here. It's very antiquitechy. And these tracks, they look like they've been dug out of the ground. They don't look like they've been laid. See here, you can see that's the, the wood, the sleepers underneath. See there, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're completely covered. Now, if this is new, why is it covered in mud? I mean, typically when you build train tracks, you raise them up above the ground a little bit because you don't want stuff collecting in them. You want it to roll off. I mean, and this whole street, it just looks completely mud flooded. A couple of horses, no one there. Well, this building burnt or something's happened to it. This one too. Now this may be after a fire, I'm not sure. But something big has hit this. And we're told, oh, this came under New York, so I'm not sure whereabouts, or that's an interesting photo. This is the New York State Library, I'm pretty sure this is, or was. I'm not sure if this is still standing. And look at this. You can clearly see down here, it's going down into the ground. I mean, it looks very top-heavy, this building, doesn't it? And you can see, stairs, of course, going up to this level, but we've got windows down below it. And look at the size of the people. We've got 2 people here. I mean, they, probably wouldn't even be as tall as just this bit here. got all the cars. So this is the 20s, or we've got a horse and cart. So yeah, 1910s, 1920s. But look at the size of that building. That's just and you know, just the symmetry that we see everywhere. You know, you can see over here mirrors this perfectly. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there'd be one there. 5 windows. You know, you've got your 2 pillars here, 2 pillars here, 4 pillars here. They've even doubled up the pillar. I mean, it's just so symmetrically, and you can even see the roof. There's, you know, we didn't build these buildings, guys. No way in the world was that built in New York. I'm not sure of the dates it was built, but it would have been late 1800s, I'm thinking. I mean, and there's just no way. Look at that. Apart from the fact so yeah, let's keep moving. Oh, no, there we go. Look at this nice big, that's a very tall light pole, but you see this kind of stuff everywhere too. Okay, this is the Stock Exchange building, again looking extremely top heavy, but that's just so classic, that architecture. I mean, just look at that. But it looks like it's lost. That looks like it's lost quite a few stories to the ground. It may have been there for quite a few floods. We don't know. Resets, and you can also see the buildings next to it. Again, another mud flutter. And you can see the size of these people. Okay, their heads is about the top of this window. Now that's only a half a window because it's in the ground. So you can imagine, you know, these windows here are twice the size at least of a person. So they're like 12-foot windows, 10-foot windows. And you know, you can just see these have all got steps up, and the size of the people compared to these buildings, it's just ridiculous. And these all, we know these all go into the ground. How are they building them so close to each other if that's the story? I mean, there's no way you would dig a massive hole in the ground. You just wouldn't. So yeah, Stock Exchange building, New York. This again, early 1900s. You can see everyone's got the same kind of clothes on. Now this is New York again. This is after, it said it was after a fire, so I'm guessing there was a big fire. I'm not sure, I haven't looked into it. But you can see this looks pretty burnt and trashed out. These buildings, of course, are made of brick and they haven't been touched. But we are told in the narrative that's how most of these buildings got destroyed. They were burnt, but clearly this all looks burnt and charred. Even the stuff that was hanging off the front, you know, the sort of patio bits are all burnt, and the buildings aren't even touched. And look at this. I'm not sure if that's one I think it is the Stock Exchange building that we just saw. But you can see these buildings right down the street. They're all gone now, which is very sad. And I just wanted to have a look. This is called the Equitable Building. Now this one is still standing, but look at this. It said it's one of New York's first skyscrapers. Actually, I think I've got it up here. Here it is. And look at this. Look at this thing. And again, look at the size of these people. I mean, is that the size of the original doorway? Because we see this stuff everywhere and it's always filled in. The top half is always filled in. And you know, so was this a full story, and then they've gone along and put in, you know, 1, 2, 3 floors in there. Because you can see the windows here are much taller than these cars. They're twice the size of the people. And look at the symmetry. I mean, even these, you know, I don't think they are columns, but they're built to look like columns. They've got the sort of floret things on the tops of them. You know, perfect symmetry. You know, got 2 sort of column bits here, so there's 2 above. Of course, they've rebranded it. But That's a very cool building, and that, you know, I'm glad that one is still standing. Like here it is here, so it is still standing. This is actually also called what was marked as the Equitable Building before the fire. So I'm not sure what's going on here with this one, but again, this is a complete mud flutter. You can see this window going straight into the ground, and next to it the stairs going up, and you can see the size of the people again. This is a monstrous building, and look at that. Again, it's looking pretty top heavy, you know, it looks like it should have a few more floors down below, doesn't it? Well, which it obviously has at least one. So these are all buildings that were in New York, and you can see the porthole stuff here. It's just amazing architecture, but unfortunately all gone, guys. This is just a bit on the ephemeral. This is that apartment building that we saw, yeah, the Navarro Flats. So built on Central Park, South 7th Avenue in the mid-1880s. Of course, we get no architecture, we get no build time or anything. Twice the size of the Dakota, the Navarro Flats was an early example of apartment-style living. At the time, most New Yorkers of means still preferred living in a single brownstone or townhouse, but French flats were catching on, and the developer Jose Francisco Navarro expected to make a mint selling luxury apartments to new money New Yorkers. So he basically found this building, stole it and retrofitted it and tried to sell it off to people. Nice. He spared no expense. The 7-bedroom duplexes had as much as 7,000 square feet of floor space. Each $20,000 duplex was part of one of 8 townhouses within the complex. So there was only 8 townhouses in there, so I'm not sure if there was other stuff. It looks an awfully big building to have only 8 townhouses. And then it says basically he couldn't sell them. Some apartments sold, but mostly New Yorkers didn't buy it. In 1880, Navarro was fending off lawsuits. By 1920s, it was gone. So that, they're telling us, stood for 40 years. I mean, imagine the time, the expense, just to design that. Just to do the architectural designs and, you know, all the engineering to make sure it stood and was completely symmetrical. I mean, just that is a mammoth task. Then actually constructing it and getting that as a finished product, I mean, come on. Come on. They're spinning us stories. Okay, so New York was founded in the 1600s, and it was actually called New Amsterdam. And here you can see New Amsterdam, what's that, 1,000, is that 20? So that's 1,000, oh my gosh, 70, 80, 90. I can't even read that. Oh God, someone's going to tell me that in the, my brain's gone. I don't know what D means. But anyway, Amsterdam, New Amsterdam, Manhattan, New York. And just again, look at that architecture and that building there. This looks like a person here, and look, they come up to only there. Imagine how tall these are, how big they are. And then that, oh my God, look, and this tunnel goes straight through the building. You know, we don't do things like this, we don't build like that. So this is New Amsterdam, a map of New Amsterdam. This wall is very interesting. See this wall? Looks like it's fallen into the water here. And look at this. It's got a big star fort. So this is, there's our star fort. You can see they've got buildings in there. There's people. Got tall ships. And this is 1660 New Amsterdam. Canals and red brick houses everywhere. Alright, so this is how they were drawing it. this looks like it's half a map. Got little circles here everywhere. I'm guessing they're saying they're orchards or people's gardens. We don't get much out here, but yeah, that's a map 1660, and yeah, see the canals coming in. Very interesting. It's obviously looks a bit different today. Now this is it today, and someone's actually overlaid the map on there. So I'll show you that I've actually done it myself too. I'm not sure position to mine, but you know, we'll see what we'll see. This is New Amsterdam, New York. Early picture drawing, and I just wanted to show you, see the edges of these roof lines, how they're all staggered like that. You can see them all the same. Now that kind of style you see in Europe. Definitely I did a video on Bruges. Where's Bruges? Brussels, I think. And all the buildings had this kind of, and they were all brightly coloured. It looks like a fairy town, that place. But yeah, they all had this exact same architecture. Exactly. So yeah, very interesting. This is another earlier picture, and as we can see, you know, these are like the red coats. So this is early. Looks like they're already hanging people, which is nice. Look at the size of this building here, and look at these. Like, there's quite a few buildings. And what's this? Is this the Star Fort? See that? Looks like the wall, you know, how it juts in and out. Is that the Star Fort? And this in the middle of it? I know, that's a lot of, you know. Fort Amsterdam, now the Battery in Kief's day. So yeah, there we go. Alright, let's get down and have a look at the map of the Star Fort. And I just wanted to show you this quickly too. This is an article from the New York Times called Raiders of the Lost City. And this basically just goes down and it tells about all these different buildings that they were you know, building in the 1990s, 2000s kind of thing. And when they were digging the foundations, they were finding other buildings underneath them. So there's quite, you know, a few of them here, a bit of a list. Lovelace Tavern, during the city's first large formal archaeological exploration in 1979, we uncovered the foundations, floor and many artefacts from Lovelace Tavern, built in 1670, or so they say. So I just found that interesting, you know. This says they found teacups and things, Chinese porcelain, because, you know, I think people were drinking out of Chinese porcelain in the 1600s in New Amsterdam. And then they found a ship sometime between 1737 and 1746. Used the ship, being scullied along the shore, so there's basically saying, yeah, it was filled in. But I mean, that, who knows, you know, how long that ship's been there. But just some interesting stuff down here. If you want to have a look at this, I'll leave it in the link as well. But just to show that, you know, New York is built on another, on a previous civilization. So New York is built on a previous city, a previous civilization, and they're always turning up bits of it when they're building. Most of it, unfortunately, they have knocked over by now. So what we'll do now is go and have a look at this map of the Star Fort on Google Earth. Okay, so here we are on Google Earth. This is New York. As we can see, we've got Liberty Island, Governor's Island, and Ellis Island. And this is the part of New York that I'm talking about now. Oops, there is a few little bits drawn on there, but that's all right. So you can see this is, when I was showing the last video, I was talking about in here, you know, we've got this angle here. We've just got some funny angles, you know, out here. They just sort of don't look that natural, you know. They're just, you know, like I always say, that people love to build, well, you know, the new paradigm, the new parasites who are designing this love to build in rows like this, just straight rows. You know, just boxes basically. So when you see stuff, this is obviously a point as well, I understand that. But there's just some strange angles. So I mentioned that, and that there might be a star fort, you know, there might have been an old star fort, and I did get, and so yeah, someone sent me a map of New Amsterdam that had a big star fort pretty much where I was pointing at these features. And I'm sorry, whoever you are, thank you so much for sending it. I've been back through my messages and I cannot find it, which is another thing. I have had messages disappearing as well, guys, from my videos, so looks like Google might be onto me. Have to get my website up and running quick. But yeah, so this is the map, so let's have a look at it. So as you can see, I've overlaid it, and here we go. I've set it up as best as I can, and this is the map there. So that's the old map of New Amsterdam. As you can see, oh, sorry, I'll just get rid of these lines. Okay, so here we go. So this is the map. Gosh, what have I done now? Sorry, 1 minute. Got a million maps in here. Where are we? USA, this one. Okay, so here we go. So as you can see, we've got this road coming across here. They've turned it, you know, put a bridge in, but the road comes in here and turns up. And so I've tried to line that up. As you can see, it comes in here, and then we've got a road that comes along here. And we've got this big sort of causeway bit down here. That's on the old map. And we've got this bit in the middle. Now, if we go to the new map, it's a bit harder to see, but you can see there's still this causeway sort of down here. And so I think I've got it fairly good. And you can also sort of see this curve here and here. They're still kind of visible. So I think it's in the right spot is what I'm trying to say. I've tried to line it up. So what we've got is, if we come down here on the shore, a star fort. And if we take it away, you'll see it sort of pretty much fits into the landscape. See how it's sort of, you can see this bit popping out there and this bit popping out there. As I increase it, you can sort of see how the star fort just sort of fits in there. So I think that's right. The other bit is, well, this, see that old bit of land, it may not be in the perfect spot, but I think it's pretty good. But anyway, that's definitely, you know, there was definitely a star fort there in that region. If that's not exactly where it is, it was definitely there. Because there we have it. Star Fort, New York City. Alright, so I just wanted to show that, guys, and now I just want to quickly touch on the Empire State Building. Okay, so what does empire actually mean? And I got this, I was watching a Martin Liedtke video last night from Flat Earth British, and he brought this up. So empire, so pyre, now with empire obviously they use an I, but this is how they change the meaning of words. It's pyre. Pyre means fire, a heap of combustible material, especially one for burning a corpse as part of a funeral pyre. M, the prefix N or M are prefixes that mean to cause or to put into. So to cause or to put in, to cause a heap of combustible material, especially for burning a corpse, or to put into a heap of combustible material, especially for burning a corpse. Now, obviously, there's also some people relate this to God, because we have L, we have N as in Enki, I think is where it comes from. So another interpretation would be Godfire, or the God of Fire, which could be, you know, like sun worship basically, maybe, or some other kind of worship to a fiery god. So yeah, just found that interesting. Empire. So it's basically either the god of fire or to throw someone in or to cause a fire, a burning a corpse, combustible material. Which really, when you look at it, that's pretty much what Empire, what they do, right? They go around and they destroy everything and they kill people and burn everything. Empire. All right, let's get into the Empire State Building. Okay, guys, so the Empire State Building. Let's have a look. So this is it. We all know the look. We've all seen the Empire State Building. It's obviously a major landmark in New York, and we all know this image as well, don't we? This is King Kong sitting on the top, catching the planes, throwing them around. Lots of destruction in the city below. And just looking at this bit of the building, I mean, this looks, I don't know if this is a cut from the movie or what it is. The building's looking very Art Deco. It just looks slightly different though. And this, I'll have to have a look at the pictures again because this looks very rounded. It looks very different. And of course now we do have a big antenna on it. So, yeah, I just found that interesting. So here, this is the actual top of it. And as you can see, it's not really that rounded sort of shiny shape, and it's got this huge, that's obviously a telecommunications tower now, you know, mobile phones or something, cell phones, but looking very different to this looks very antiquitech-y, doesn't it? So I find that interesting. And then just the artwork. Look at this work on this building. Now this was supposed to be built in the 20s and 30s. You know, it's one of these great landmark buildings, and we've all seen the photos of, you know, the workmen sitting up, you know, 100 stories in the sky, just sitting on a piece of wood, eating their lunch kind of thing, and, you know, walking along the beams, just floating in the sky. You know, I mean, how real are they? I mean, obviously we've seen them, we've all seen them, but when you look at them from a different perspective, I mean, they were pretty hairy photos. I haven't got any here, but I'm going to have a look at them because, I mean, there was a lot done, and then it was put in King Kong, and there was a lot done about the Empire State Building to sort of promote that it was built and when it was built and all this kind of stuff. So it could just be a big story. So yeah, it's just an interesting building. Someone actually tipped me off to have a look at this building, mainly because of what's in the foyer. This is just an internal. It's an internal shot. It's one of the only ones I could find. But this is just to show you the size of this building. I mean, look, that looks like they've put that bookshelf in that window. Why would you do that if you built the building? And look at the size of that. Look, that's the door. See, so that's almost as high as a door. That bookshelf there. So this is another another 2 doors high. That's a lot of wasted room. If you're building a building for offices, you've just wasted 2 floors. Again, this is the foyer. Look at the height. I mean, that is ridiculous. Who was this building built for? Because again, as I say, if this was built for commercial purposes, to make money, to rent office space out, you know, if they're doing this on every floor, they're losing a lot of space. And I did a video on I mentioned a building not long ago. I can't remember the name, but basically with that building, it was something like, I think it was 20-something stories. And they took the top off, which was 4 stories, and then they turned it into like a 50-story building or something. So they literally filled in all these massive floors. They turned them into 2 and 3 floors. So who built these buildings? Now look at this. This is on the ceiling of the foyer. What does this look like? Because to me that looks very antiquitech-y. That looks like some kind of, you know, it's almost, you know, it's got, I don't know, it's almost reminiscent of crop circles, of like a circuit board. It's reminding me, I think I've seen some pictures somewhere of like ancient sites, you know, like in Peru and that, where they have the pyramids that match up to the Orion's belt. I've seen an image with these circles, something, I'm not sure, something's reminding me. But look at that, I mean that, and this is supposed to have been done, what, 1920s or 30s? I mean, what is that? What was the inspiration for that? Because back then, I mean, what is it? Pipes? I mean, very interesting. This is one of the ceilings. I think this is an observation deck, but look, this is just a big starburst. Okay, and it's the Empire State Building, right? Fire, sun, maybe, big starburst on the ceiling. And then we have this in the foyer. This is a picture, obviously, of the Empire State Building. And at the top, it does have the tower and it has the antenna. And then we just have all this stuff radiating off it. And this is coming from the tower, guys. This isn't like the sun is up behind it, sort of shining through. This is symbolism for either some kind of antiquitech, saying it's giving out a signal of some kind of energy or radiance, or it's to do with the name Empire, like the sun god. This could be the rays of the sun as well, and those two things could be interconnected too, for all we know. You know, the sun god may have been their god because it was the source of the power. You know, these are the things that could be the same thing. But very interesting, very telling, that picture. I mean, and to be done back then, you know, and it's like I said, it was on that ceiling as well. And there's a lot of this kind of iconography around the Empire State, that, you know, and the name. Then we have this again. Look at the height of the ceiling, and this is that picture, so you can see this keeps going up. This is very tall. And then they just have all this stuff that I wanted to have a look at on the wall here. Empire State. Okay, so we've got a bit of a map here of Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Atlantic Ocean. So now New York, as far as I know, I'm not completely up on my US geography, but pretty sure New York is a state. New Jersey, I thought New Jersey was part of New York, I may be wrong, and Pennsylvania is its own state, one of the early states. So I'm not sure why there's only that little section. Obviously it's New York, but again, look at this. We've got this radiance kind of coming off here. We've got in here, it's like one of the sort of flower sort of iconography things that's kind of, you know, growing upwards. Got a crystal thing here. I don't know. It's just all very, very unrandom is what it looks like to me. It looks very set, you know, like it's been done for a reason. We've got a clock here again, and of course, you know, people just say this is also, it's just Art Deco style. I don't know. There's a bit of a theme here. You know, that's obviously supposed to be a compass too, pointing north upwards to the sun. Maybe. I don't know. Pretty interesting. So what do you think? Is that sort of related to those, are they symbols to tell someone that it used to be Antiquitech? This is the full picture again, pointing north. Looks like behind here may have a world map. I'm not sure what that is. Can you see that? Looks like it in the red there. The map may be something, and that could be again symbolism. The empire, we own the world. So very interesting, because the Empire State Building, it's such a sort of status, isn't it? And why did they leave it standing? I mean, they told us they built it, but I doubt it. Just looking at the size of it and the craftsmanship. Probably more of a story, but they kept this one and they turned it into their symbol for the Empire State. The state that they are going to destroy in fire, maybe. So there we go. Just thought we'd have a quick look at the Empire State Building. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. A bit of a walk through New Amsterdam and New York. A few of the old buildings, a Star Fort, and of course the Empire State Building, which could be Antiquitech, could be symbolic. I'm not really sure. I need a bit more investigation into that one. So thank you for spending some time with me, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hope you have an amazing day. Please check out the description below. There is some autodidactic merch, some hats and caps and things, so you can get out there, tell the world it's time to be self-educated, because his story is not our story. I've also got a Facebook page, Instagram page, so go along and like those as well, and click the bell if you want to be notified for my next upcoming videos. Alright guys, yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me. Be amazing, and I shall catch you on the next upload. Bye for now.